Welcome to the pilot episode of Destigeddon Radio. We're here in the Sentinel Tower in parts unknown, broadcasting live. This is Trehern, the high-rise terrorizer, and joining me today is the founder of Destigeddon. Somewhere in a temple in time and space, and that's Panther Joe. Panther, how you doing?
Hey, I'm Frank the firefighter.
Why were we calling him Donnie for a really long time?
I don't know. His name is Frank, though, right?
Correct. He's
Okay.
the monster who does push-ups for no reason.
We are, of course, referring to one of the players on the reality show on the channel Siffy we've been watching.
Sci-fi.
Opposite Worlds. We'll talk about that a little later.
Yeah, but first up, let's talk about something that happened this week. It always happens in January. It's one of you and I's favorite goings-ons, and that's the Royal Rumble, Joe.
The Royal Rumber?
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
For
Some guy named Dan Batista. No, Dave Batista.
Frank Batista, fireman.
Yeah, Bautista won the Rumble.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble, 30 people go in. Most of them shitty cast members from the show. Not any surprises really, except for maybe like El Torito, which was pretty awesome. And yeah, the guy who just returned after however long, I don't know, Joe, like 4 years or something.
I started watching again twice, like late 2010, and he wasn't even on then. So I want to say it's been at least like 2009 since he's been on there.
Now, is it true that he left, his last appearance was him in a wheelchair?
That's what I remember.
Why didn't he return in a wheelchair?
I don't know. I think he got paralyzed, and then they didn't want to pay out incidentals and handicap, all that. What's that work term? Injured on the job.
Workers' compensation.
Yeah, workers' comp. They didn't want to pay that, and then they just kicked him to the curb. You're fired.
Now, Joe, you allegedly pay to read dirt sheets. How accurate were the dirt sheets this year?
I would say they're pretty accurate.
Panther pays in the thousands of Bitcoin to read these dirt sheets, which basically, I don't know how they do it. They have like, I think it somehow goes back to like a couple dollars a month somehow through the interweb. Bitcoin, Joe. We only deal in Bitcoin here.
Yeah, but then it goes back to my Wachovia account.
Your offshore Wachovia account.
Yeah, and then it's just it's very cheap to get the dirt on these guys. I mean, the one thing they did get wrong was everyone was expecting Jake the Snake Roberts to come back, but I have a feeling that he just wasn't in that great a shape yet. He's getting there. He's coming back from his rehab and is almost dying of drinking gallons of vodka a day, I guess.
Drinking cocaine.
But and
snake poison.
Hulk smashing pills into vodka and then snorting it.
But you have some guys like the Khali, who's like, I don't want to say he's in shape, but he looks like he might die at any time, just from general maintenance not being done to the great Khali.
Yeah.
You tighten those belts every once in a while.
Yeah, well, let's look at the Royal Rumble as a whole. If I recall, there were only 5 matches, including the pre-show match.
Oh, good, yeah, let's look at the statistics. So the first match the pre-match was tag teams, which was pretty awesome.
The tag titles were on the line. Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the brother tag team.
Or as we call them, Road Dust.
Road Dust were defending against the throwback, the vintage New Age Outlaws, who you may remember if you're a casual viewer of wrestling, your awesome days in middle school. The guys that like to say "suck it" a lot.
Oh, yep, I remember those.
Yeah, they took the belts and
those guys were assholes.
It was pretty awful. That's a couple like near 50-year-old guys wrestling in the ring,
both keeping their shirts on
the biggest stage of them all.
Oh, wait, just the general stage.
It's
like the State of the Union address stage.
No, just you're in one of the big four.
You didn't know, Mr. President?
It's something all wrestling fans watch, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then there were a bunch of shitty matches after that, if I can recall.
Yeah, the Bray Wyatt match, Daniel Bryan opener. That was I thought that was pretty good. Bryan was on point. He was looking fresh last night or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, his kicks were in good form that night.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know how many wrestling fans are going to listen to this, but
maybe 0.
Jesus H. Christ. In parachute pants. People on the internet need to stop slobbing their knob about Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryanson?
Yeah, Daniel DeBryanson. The fans in the arena they're just chanting his name constantly, even in matches. I think they even chant his name during Divas matches and dance-offs or whatever.
Dance-offs.
It's getting out of control, and I think it's evolved to the point where, you're at a wrestling show and you want to chant things, because you're there, you paid money, why not chant things and, be part of the whole ambiance. And I think now it's just kind of cool, air quotes, to chant his name.
Right.
They obviously they don't want to see him all the time.
They just only know one chant now.
Yeah, it's the new. I called it the new "What Stone Cold" chant from 10 years ago.
Oh yes.
Maybe closer to 15 years ago now that I think of it.
The double knee braces.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad because people are getting a false sense of how awesome it is. Let's put Daniel Bryan in every match and he needs to be champion. Because right now the championship doesn't mean anything because Daniel Bryan doesn't have it. It's really sad.
Now, are they truly going to fuse these 2 belts together to form a suit of armor? Please answer me that. What do the dirt sheets say?
I think they're just going to scrap. I think they're just going to take the other one to a junkyard and get price per ounce for it.
All right.
I mean, there's got to be like $500 worth of gold in there, I would assume.
Yeah, if I believe those commercials that play late at night, the value of gold has gone up significantly in the last couple of years.
Yeah. And listeners, make sure you buy gold. We are a Republican slanting podcast. We do recommend.
I'm holding that big sign, that big arrow-shaped sign pointing to the nearest gold buyer's shack.
Yeah, we do recommend that you pretty much liquidate all your assets into hard metals. Even the ones people don't really think about.
We like to call them shit coins.
Yeah,
because that's what they're worth.
Stock up on mercury too. You just can't get that from expensive fish from the sea.
Break open your thermometers.
Yeah, just any kind of hard metals, really.
Not dentures. What are those things that go into your teeth? That's metal sometimes.
Fillings.
Yep, those things.
Oh yeah. Just you might as well just chisel those bitches out right now.
If you hit a nerve, it's okay. That's just the feeling of getting rich.
Yeah.
Joe, next match. Next shitty match, I should say.
The Big Show versus Brock Lesnar. I think maybe it was 3 minutes. There's nothing really to say about it except Big Show got his ass reamed.
Yep. It was another Floyd Mayweather episode.
Yeah, I mean,
the Big Show should easily have taken on everyone but falls because I don't know, he's a big baby.
I can't really give a full analysis on these matches because I didn't really watch the build up. I only just started watching. I watched a little bit of Raw last week. I don't watch wrestling while football season is going on.
This is proven.
I just got back into it, so I can't really say if they've had a good build up in any of these matches. But dear God, for a pay-per-view to have 4 total matches and one of them be a 3-minute match in which 2 of those minutes were Brock Lesnar hitting Big Show about 700 times with a chair. That's not something I'd want to pay for in the future.
You know what I do want to pay for, Joe, is a nice big sub over at Jimmy John's. Freaky fast.
They will kill Jersey Mike's dead.
Destigeddon Radio, brought to you by Jimmy John's.
They will pick up Jersey Mike's and Firehouse and F5 them into oblivion.
Brought to you by the beanie cap, Brock Lesnar's beanie cap, which also features a Jimmy John's logo.
And then after that match, they had a title match between Cena and Orton, And I think some people said it best that I was reading this was a time capsule match from 2004. I don't really know anything about that, but I feel like
I don't know what that means.
Anybody who's been watching wrestling in the past 10 years probably saw this match and, I don't know, maybe took their dog out for a walk.
Probably saw this match multiple times. Probably like
maybe
10 times
fired
a
up
year.
some more taquitos or something. It was just kind of boring.
El Torito Taquitos.
Yep. And then the Mania was it was pretty good. It was kind of short.
You mean the Rumble?
Yes, the Rumble.
The Mania Rumble.
The pre-Mania Rumble. Each contestant had 2 wrestlers started out. CM Punk versus who was it? Rollins.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the 2 wrestlers start out,
Shriek.
and then every 90 seconds another wrestler comes out until 30 total wrestlers have entered the match. And the only way you get eliminated is to be thrown over the top rope viciously. And 29 wrestlers got thrown over the top rope.
Yeah.
One of which was a man in a suit.
Yep.
One of the announcers.
Oh, yes, that guy. I thought you meant Kane, who came out with just his slacks but no shirt.
Yeah, he came out in a pair of Dockers.
Armani pants.
Armani Kane.
Yeah, be prepared to be let down every 90 seconds because the people that they send out are sometimes not as exciting as you would think. People get 29 seconds, people get up, or 90 seconds, people get up to see who comes out next, and then it's someone like Kane who's just undressing.
Yeah, I'm going to take a wild stab at an analogy for people who don't watch wrestling. I don't know, maybe you watched The Big Bang Theory, and maybe you went to a Comic-Con or one of those settings, and
rated
you got
#1 comedy on CBS.
You got a whole panel of all the people on The Big Bang Theory, and
Does
maybe they have
this panel include
maybe they have
Balam?
Maybe they have 10 people up there, and then 8 of them are that guy that plays Kripke. That's kind of what the Rumble is. You're in it for to see, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7 guys, but the rest of the 2/3 of the field are just really space fillers.
All 8 are Kripke.
I mean, actually, some of them are space fillers. They just get in the ring because they're 300 pounds.
Right.
And then they do a showdown of the Pachycephalosaurs.
Although I did enjoy the Bulgarian wrestler making his first appearance.
Yeah, Alexander Rusev.
He needs to bring back the shtick where he takes his opponent's names on a board and breaks it as his tradition before entering the ring. So he should just said the Rumble or something on his board before he broke it.
Yeah, but so the match kind of was a little disappointing because of all that fluffer, and then I think I said before the pay-per-view that the money bet was, are you picking Batista to win, or are you picking literally anyone else? It's a 2-to-1 odds right there. It's like maybe 10 years ago in golf when the bet was Tiger Woods or the field.
Right.
And then yes, Batista won because they were running out of ideas, and they brought this old crippled. I think Batista is he's 46 now.
Oh wow.
He was really old when he started, and I want to say 2002. So he's getting up there. He still looked in great shape, but also looked kind of winded after the 15 minutes of work he did.
Well, he probably needs to wrestle once before.
It kind of like when The Rock came back, and he was doing all those rock gyrations, but after about 2 minutes, he could barely breathe.
Right. Yeah, these guys, they people love them. They got to come back, I guess.
So yeah, that's the.
So on a scale from 1 to 1 to AJ Lee, what would you give the Royal Rumble 2014?
I give it a. I give it a Michelle McCool from Palatka phase.
Okay.
Michelle McCool, middle school teacher in Palatka.
There you have it.
Out of Divas.
There you have it. The wife of the Undertaker.
If you're kind of a fair weather wrestling fan, you should. Now's the time to watch. And between the Rumble and Mania, that's when a lot of guest stars and other famous people show up and get in the action. And it'll go through April, so it's not like you're really committed to anything. It's pretty fun. I would recommend it.
I agree.
Yeah.
But the show today, the pilot episode of Destigeddon Radio, the most underground radio show in the history of underground radio shows. Someone may even call us the anti-cast. Because we're so unpodcastly.
I like that. Can you trademark that?
The anti-cast?
Yeah, what's it cost to trademark these days?
TM, I just did.
Is that
Look at that.
Is that what GoDaddy does now?
Does GoDaddy trademark? Nah, I guess you could get the anticast.com or something.
I haven't seen a Super Bowl ad in like a year, so I forget what GoDaddy does.
I'm still waiting for that video to load where Danica Patrick opens up her flight suit or her fireproof suit or whatever it is she's wearing.
Oh, it's just it's the surprise. It's just
a tank top with GoDaddy.com on it.
No, it's just Hulk Hogan underneath. Advertising another product.
Right, the Hulkster. What does he do now? It's like Hulk Hogan's web space. Like buy a Hulk Hogan website. It's basically GoDaddy, except
I think he just stars in sex tapes. I think that's his job now.
Oh, okay, maybe that's what I'm confusing it with.
Yeah, he just
it wasn't a website. It was a sex tape.
You can pay him to show up, and he'll take off everything but his bandana.
Exactly. Joe, you've been watching TV? You've been watching Sci-Fi?
Yeah,
There's a new show on here called Opposite Worlds, #Opposite Worlds.
Yeah, me and Trehern have gotten into watching this new...
Well, I haven't gotten... I've seen it, I haven't gotten into it, though.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're committing time to it, you're into it. I mean,
I guess.
Your finger's not on the Opposite Worlds pulse, it's in it.
Oh, it's in the pulse?
Yeah.
Wow. That's losing blood fast.
Yeah, we are...
We've seen episodes 1 and 2, right? And did you watch the Elimination show? I don't watch those.
Yeah, I was able to record that and watch that. But, Tyler, why don't you tell the audience what the show's about?
Sure.
Roughly?
Okay, so there's 10 people, and then they have this barn that they kind of split into two halves. One a futuristic side, and then there's one that's a kind of like a year one side where there isn't anything but like firewood and like raw potatoes and an axe. But in Future World, you have
Michael Cera and Jack Black aren't there either.
Right. And in Future World, you have like hot tubs and champagne and like all white people. And so they live in these areas, but then there's
That's my America.
There's this big window where they can see each other, so they like are constantly steaming and cooking about how angry or how jealous they are. I don't know what this social experiment is, but the Australian guy, the scientist / adventurer,
they're marketing it as the first. I want to say it's called the first social. It's not a reality show. It's a social experiment.
Yeah, I don't agree with that because I think all reality shows are, in a sense, a social experiment. Like when you put people on the Survivor Island, isn't that an experiment to see if people can do that? I don't know. But yeah, they're coming up front about it though. Yeah, they're saying that they are an experiment. Although I don't know what they're trying to find out. If people can live, I guess.
I think they've established that dynamic. You've talked about the people living in the future and the people living in the past, and the whole thing is they're competing for different rewards and whatnot, and then the fans get to go online and vote and affect the outcome of the voting show the next day. You know, you get the chance to vote for a player from each team to give them the power to choose who will be up for elimination that next night. And the prevailing theory so far is that, you know, if you get to live in luxury in the future, maybe you'll be more well nourished and rested for these events. But if you live in the past, I think people feel really sorry for you and they're going to vote for you.
Yeah, that's I think what we've seen.
I've seen a little bit of that in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, episode 1, there really isn't that much to tell in each individual episode. They have like events, like you say, American Gladiator-like events. So in the first episode, they had like the Q-tip fight. But
instead of the Q-tips,
right.
They're using Scott Hall cattle prods.
Yeah, they're like basically electrical tasers, which no one really got hurt from. I don't think anyone really noticed that they were getting electrocuted. I thought for sure like they'd be paralyzed or something. And they had to knock each other off this little platform.
I'm sure they set the voltage to a low setting.
Mildly annoyed. And someone broke their leg in the first episode, so
yeah, there
right
was
on, guy.
Yeah, you're both on this pedestal in the air, and you're both on an end, and then the referee or whoever blows the whistle, and then you can pick up your taser, and that's when you start battling.
Right.
But instead of picking up the taser, the guy from the future
Jesse.
just speared the guy from the past, and they both went flying off the pedestal. And the guy from the past, a Marine actually, so he could have been a huge help for that team.
Right.
He instantly broke his leg. He's done so. They straight murdered that dude.
And the Australian host was just like, I think this was a violation, so the point goes to the Epochs.
Yeah. They reviewed the tape. They pulled the NFL referee mess on that.
Yeah, that guy was game on winning. And then our favorite character, of course, is Frank the fireman.
Yeah, there's
I think they needed to find special clothing for this guy. Like his white jumpsuit is, I want to say, a quadruple X large. This guy is jacked.
It's bursting at the seams. This firefighter from, he'll let you know he's from New York about every 5 minutes.
Yep, you won't ever forget where he's from.
His arms are so big that they can't sit properly by his side. They just kind of hover, his forearms kind of hover about 6 to 8 inches from his side at all times.
Right. Like an action figure.
And then he's just a big goof. He's aloof. He tried the physical challenge in the first episode and just got totally dominated because he can't bend or whatever.
I think he won though. He won his really? Round. Yeah, he did.
I thought he was.
Because you gave me
Are
the
you
impression.
sure?
Yeah, you gave me the impression that he would lose, and I was like, how would this guy lose? And then they showed him fighting in the American Gladiator, and he just pushed the guy off.
I'm gonna challenge that call, and we will get back to the fans in the comments section.
Yeah, fans, if you watched episode 1 of #Opposite Worlds, tell us if Frank the Tank Fireman, don't know his last name.
He's the giant guy who grooms himself constantly and does push-ups for no reason.
He had tried out for the Jersey Shore, failed, but did win the Opposite Worlds tryouts.
I think at one point he also threw his feces at the dividing wall.
Ugh.
But not realizing he wasn't in the past.
That may be fictional, but I'll believe it.
I think it was in the deleted scenes online. I'm pretty sure about that.
Next time on Opposite Worlds, and it's just him throwing crap at the window.
Yeah, this show though, I don't know. I'm not too sure why it's on Sci-Fi. I mean, I haven't personally watched anything on Sci-Fi since Mansquito versus Gator Patrick Bateman.
Well, you should know better than anyone that SmackDown is on Sci-Fi.
No, I don't watch SmackDown.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Well, after we discuss every single episode of Opposite Worlds here at Destigeddon Radio, the most underground radio ever.
Yeah, Sci-Fi.
We're going to be looking at.
It's so Sci-Fi anymore because did you catch a little bit? There was a show on before Opposite Worlds, and then 9:00 Eastern time slot called Face Off.
Yeah, it was.
Not the movie.
Nope.
And
I need a face.
It seemed to be a reality show in the same format as any competition of your day job.
Yeah, just replace cupcakes with a mask.
Yeah, just replace cupcakes and cooking and hair cutting and dance moms with a bunch of people who are makeup artists.
For God's sake, please replace dance moms.
And you were trying to be the best makeup artist you can. Now, I saw a little bit of I saw the last 2 minutes of the episode, and the guy, he just got eliminated, and he actually said, "Oh man, this is really sad, but makeup, it's the only thing in the world that means this much to me, and I will never stop making up faces." And
making them up in his imagination, or making them up with makeup?
With makeup.
I gotcha.
This is the kind of content. This is the kind of ridiculous content you will see on Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi. I think we should do Jim Henson's Creature Shop, which is going to have a show on Sci-Fi in the next coming months, which replace masks now with puppets.
If it doesn't involve Mansquito, then I am not interested.
What about Big Ass Spider? Robo
No,
Bear Shark?
no, I've seen Eight-Legged Freaks. I don't need anything of that.
How do you feel about Robo Bear Shark?
No, Robo Bear Shark?
Correct.
Is the bear a robot or the shark a robot?
That's yet to be determined.
I don't know.
The scientists are still working on it.
You know, when Mansquito was brutally murdered by Gator Patrick Bateman, I thought that was it. But they revived him,
Mansquito,
and they're gonna bring him back for the sequel, and that's the only thing you need to see on Sci-Fi.
Why wasn't Mansquito in the Royal Rumble? This is what I want to expect nowadays.
I don't know, but
we should have a Royal Rumble of sci-fi monsters.
But talking about a little bit about tonight's episode of.
Oh, wait. Okay, just to backtrack a little bit, the Elimination Show is heavily featured in the regular episode, so I don't even watch it. But, whatever.
It's not a recap show.
I know, but they give the results of the live show in the next week's episode, so I just watched that.
Oh, well, I mean, there's another contest.
I know, but they show the clips from it.
Did they?
I don't know. I feel like they did.
I don't think they did.
Maybe I'm just imagining it, so I don't have to go and watch
it. Yeah,
anyway.
they have a pretty lengthy contest to figure out who gets eliminated. But tonight they had another worldly challenge, which gives you the power, if your team wins, to choose whether to live in the future or the past.
Right.
You can switch, and you're not stuck in the future or past, and you get the choice.
Right. Opposite worldly challenge.
Team Epoch.
In the past.
Lost again. I don't think they've won. They're 0 for 2 now.
Correct.
Team Kronos, the team in the future, has chosen the future both times. But I thought tonight's contest was pretty cool. I thought it was. I don't watch a lot of reality television. I know what kind of basically goes on, but the whole thing about tying another person to the post, having to untie them in a timely manner while you're getting pelted by tomatoes, I thought that was pretty ingenious.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when I was seeing these challenges. They're just so outrageously ridiculous. It's like, okay, we'll tie someone up and then make them untie him. Oh yeah, and then we'll make them throw tomatoes at each other. Like someone's just like throwing ideas into a hat and just filling in the blanks.
Especially since the new guy, the Jay Baruchel lookalike nerd, just got.
Is that Seth Rogen's friend?
He got beamed in the eye with a tomato. He was wearing goggles, but it got hit right in the lip of the goggle, and it sliced him right under the eye.
Yeah, I feel like someone he lost a bet or something, and that's why he's on the show now. He is not game in being there.
Yeah. They lost 2 people in the first week, one to that broken leg, and then one to natural causes, elimination. So they brought back. I guess the plan the whole time was to bring in 2 more people. So we started with 12, eliminated 2, and then they brought back 2 more people. I guess they lost their black guy on the show, so they brought back a black girl.
Yeah, it wasn't very diverse for a while.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of this episode was the reveal of who was the most popular and who was the least popular. And I was cracking up. It was some guy on Epoch who was the most popular, who actually turns out has the ability.
Johnny Rocket, as they call him.
He has the ability to pass food through the time vortex. But let's talk about that for a second.
I was going to get to that in a little bit. Actually, maybe I'll get to that right now, Tyler.
Right now.
I have a list. I have a list, a top 5 at 5 list.
5 cast, 5 list alert. Go.
Of things that can make opposite worlds better.
Okay. Hashtag opposite worlds.
Number 1 by far. This is a consensus number 1, needs to happen. If you're living in the past, you should be forced to live with a live tiger.
That just roams around on that side of the barn?
Yeah, not only does he live with you, you don't know if he's really trained, you don't really know anything about him, but he's also on your team as well.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he can be voted on, and he can compete in the challenges, but at any time, he can also maul you and eat you.
Sure. Tie up the tiger, guys.
Yeah. Damn it, Sam, we forgot to tie up the tiger. They ate that really boring blonde girl.
Nice. Number 4.
Number two.
Number 2.
I can't remember the host's name, the British Aussie gentleman.
I'm an adventurer and a scientist.
Blimey McShamus. But,
Blimey.
Get rid of him and have the show hosted by one Guy Fieri. That man will put the cheer into anything.
Diners, drive-in, and worlds.
He is the proverbial watching TV to the eating of food off a flip-flop, as he says on his show.
Nice.
Occasionally.
Great show, terrible host.
Yep.
Number 3.
Number 3, I think both teams also, they should have day jobs.
Oh, okay. Similar to the Jersey Shore where they work down in that shop.
In the scene of Jersey Shore. Team Epoch in the past, they should have to go to the quarry, obviously.
Okay, yeah, mine rocks.
And then,
possibly gold.
And then the team in the future, they should have to clock into the food pill factory. Those food pills aren't going to make themselves.
Sure.
That's what everyone's going to be eating in the future.
I'm surprised they don't have food pills on the show. I mean, they have all regular food. But the future, if I've seen any futuristic movie, sci-fi movie, it's sci-fi. It always has food pills in it.
Yeah, food pills and weird glasses and shit.
Mm-hmm. Lots of neon too. If you're watching a futuristic movie from the 80s.
Yeah, number 4. This is
Number 4.
This is, I think we're both going to agree with this. A little more serious on this one.
I already agree with the tiger one.
All male or all female casts for this show because based on the popularity contest, the Twitter, whatever they call it, the Twitter popularity vote.
Mm-hmm. Brought to you by Verizon.
I have a strong inkling that based on the demographic of this show and the channel, the females are going to get tons and tons of votes.
Really? But
even though JR was technically the most popular.
Right.
After him was 4 females.
Sure.
By a large margin.
I like where your head's at. This is making sense now.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that popularity contest in general. I mean, maybe it could go without it, but if you're gonna have it, yeah, you maybe even out the playing field.
Who was the one that was in last place? Who started crying because America hated him?
The interior decorator guy, the guy
Jeffrey?
The guy who's been he's screwing over his own team by bringing food, throwing it over the vortex.
Yes, that's right. We'll get to
Which
that.
brings me to my fifth thing that can improve this show.
Number 5.
A lack of alliances.
Yes.
This is a trait.
Yeah, I feel like it's a ploy put in by the producers.
This is a stale mechanism in any reality show, I think.
It was the least organic thing about this show.
What did he tell his team? He kept you're in these 2 different pods. I mean, technically they're connected, kind of like a duplex, if you will.
Right.
But he would leave and he would just go talk with the other team across the wall.
Right.
And at one point there was a opening where he could throw food to the people in the past. What was he saying? He's like, oh guys, I'm going to take a shit, a really big one. really long. Yeah, don't come in for an hour.
Or the other guy was just like, I'm going to this other part of the woods. Just kind of leave me alone for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And everyone was just so creeped out that they didn't even bother going over there.
So
they get the ability to talk.
And since we are talking, I do recommend you record tomorrow's show.
All right.
But be prepared. The first 20 minutes or so, the first third of the episode, is devoted to them talking about strategy about who to put up for the elimination vote.
Yeah, that makes me want to not watch it. So maybe I'll just fast forward through that.
Which it can be kind of interesting, but it doesn't need to be that drawn out.
No, there's little to no strategy in winning this thing. If you're athletic, you might win the challenges, but other than that, just go with things, man. That's
another thing. That's another curveball I think we'll see. I think we're going to start seeing more puzzles and intellectual challenges.
Well, as Frank has already told us, if you try to make him play Sudoku, he's going to lose that game.
Yeah, if you try and
he can win any other thing.
Make him do anything that doesn't involve him having muscles where people don't know they have muscles.
He was a pretty good pitcher. He was bringing the heat.
You can edit that.
Wait, what?
You can edit that. He was hitting them, but maybe like a 20% clip.
Oh yeah. He probably threw like 300, and they filmed like 15 of him hitting.
He was probably Kenny Powersing all over that place.
You're fucking out.
Just yeah.
All right, so yeah, opposite worlds.
So that's how we can improve that show.
Joe, on a ranking scale from 1 to axe chopped potatoes, what would you give these first 2 episodes of Opposite Worlds? Hashtag.
Like I said, I'm not a big reality show guy. I've probably only watched a handful in my life. But this concept interests me. I originally wanted to watch this show when I heard that a person that we both went to school with several eons ago was going to be on this show.
I can't say I remember who they are. Trehern was pretty drunk during most of high school.
Yeah. So we knew somebody back in the day who was a contestant on the show, nice. And I was like, I'm gonna record it to show support. We have somebody on a reality show, and then we also have somebody in the Super Bowl, which is pretty awesome.
Nice. Showing
support for our alma mater.
And if you'd like to guess who we went to school with, their name starts with an F and ends in Rank the Fireman. Our favorite character.
Not really. But really? I thought I was going to hate it. First it was on Sci-Fi, and then it was a reality show, which those are so awful sometimes for the different tropes we've talked about.
Sure.
But yeah, this is the time kind of flies, and like I said, the challenges, the physical challenges, and the voting process, that seems kind of new and innovative to me. You're voting on different things, and you're voting on the popularity, and you're also voting on the elimination for the next night.
Interesting.
So I would give it I'd give it a watch.
All right. I'd give it a 3. From 1 to axe chopped potatoes, 3.
Okay. I don't know what that scale is, but I like your analysis there.
Here at Destigeddon Radio, nothing makes sense. But you can always find us here. We'll talk about beer. We'll talk about music. Joe, there's some up and coming artists up there where you come from, up at the temple.
There's we're going to talk about other television shows we've been watching. Shitty television shows. I've got a couple on blast I want to talk about, but I don't think we have time.
On blast with Panther.
Yeah.
The boob tube countdown's coming back.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So I don't know where this thing is going to be. It might be on YouTube. It might be on the internet somewhere. I don't know. So if you find it, good on you. Panther, thanks for coming by and talking about this shitty television show.
Yeah, it's I think it's the feature. I don't think it's shitty yet.
Okay. We'll be coming back next week, maybe, to talk about episode 3 of #Opposite Worlds.
Yeah, and if you want to view anything we've talked about tonight, Opposite Worlds comes on the Sci-Fi channel Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then again the next night, Wednesday at I believe 10 p.m. Eastern as well. That's the results and the Ultimate Elimination show.
Very nice, and I'm sure there's a web address for that show as well where you can visit the media wall presented by Verizon.
Yeah, we will be up there as the number.
Will be up there
as the number 1 and 2 fans. I think in the last results.
Fans. I like it.
In the last results, JR won by an astounding 90% over the other girl on the team, and
yeah.
I voted for JR. I want to say 10 times on the internet, which takes about a minute. You can just keep clicking vote.
He LBJ'd that contest, man.
And I think it was like a 12-2 vote, if that.
12-2.
I was almost every vote in that contest.
I hope that's true. Panther, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, let's do it again. Let's hope we get picked up by some sponsors.
Yeah, I would love to sponsor this show, the kind of content we're bringing.
I'm waiting on the email from King Cobra.
King Cobra, Hulkamania's web services, Opposite Worlds 2, even Oppositer.
Frank the Fireman's Muscle Milk.
Oh yeah, the muscle milk from Frank.
We've been making fun of that guy, so I don't know if he's going to sponsor us.
Were we making fun of him? I think we appreciate his candor. He's an honest guy. He's a family man.
Yeah, no, he's
got 2
pretty,
kids. He trims his eyebrows daily.
He's pretty easily to be made fun of. I think he does to himself. I will not be voting for him tonight.
As the protector?
I will be voting for the blonde girl whose name I cannot remember.
Other blonde girl. Yeah. I think that's her name.
Yeah.
Other poor-looking blonde girl.
All right, dude.
Destigeddon Radio. Check us out. Bye.
Woo woo.